Okay, what's going on? It's Mouth of the South, John Schiavone, along with my co-host, the Beast of the East, Jonathan Pariente, and
You
you pulled
wonder.
me away from film study. By the way, later on tonight, I will be on the Professional Fanatics going over the top 15 wide receivers in the NFL draft, according to me, John Perriente, Chris DeLarge, and Tony Mainville. I will be presenting Downtown Sports consensus top 15 rankings on the Professional Fanatics channel. So, I'm doing this, right, Beast?
I know.
And I told you that I was focusing on NFL this week, that I don't need to be called to do any other sports this week unless it was an emergency.
Yeah, well,
So what the
this is a major
fuck are you
emergency.
bothering?
This
What?
is a major emergency. All right, this is a major emergency, and it's concerning the Knicks, and you need to hear what I have to say. You have to hear this from me. So I'm going home from work. I'm following
Okay.
the Knicks Hawks game. Knicks are okay. They're ahead. They're keeping the pace. Good. Knicks are up 12 going into the end of three. I'm like, okay. Knicks are in
Wait a minute. Oh,
control.
hold on. They were only up 12 because I remember them being up like they were going into halftime up by like 20.
No, 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 no. They were up at halftime by about like 9, 7. It was roughly the Knicks lead was about 7-13 in waves. Teams go on
I
runs.
remember them being like up at 19 at one point. I
Maybe that
saw
was game
something
one.
like
We're
that.
probably talking about game one.
No, game two. I saw it was like 69 to like 53 or something.
No, no, no. I definitely saw the lead maybe 12-13 at best. But whatever. Okay. But the point of the matter is, Knicks were up 12 at the end of three. Okay.
Okay.
I'm thinking, okay, the Knicks, they're shutting Atlanta down. They're doing what they have to do. They're hitting some shots here. Okay. Then I saw the fourth quarter begin. I'm like, why is Brunson not starting the fourth quarter? I know he has 4 fouls. I know Cat's got 4, but okay, you figure they'll come in. Okay, so fast forward. Now there's about 7:50 to go. All right, Brunson and Cat are in there. Knicks are up 9. All right. And then right about from 4 minutes left was when everything went downhill.
No, you're not telling me they lost the game in the Garden, right?
Oh, they did. They had their chance.
No,
No, yes, yes.
no, no,
And you know what really upset me more than anything with this?
no,
When your
no.
team, when you know the old saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah. Did they
Yeah,
not pass the ball to Cat again?
they went away from what was working, which means, yeah, Cat had 18 points and 8 rebounds going into the fourth quarter.
Uh-huh.
And
What did he finish the game with?
and that's exactly what he ended up finishing the game with because uh, the ball
What?
the ball almost never went his way. Pretty much everything in that final minutes of the quarter was all Brunson. You didn't see any of Cat taking a few big shots. You didn't see any of Cat driving to the rim. Literally
What?
the last 3, 4 possessions to close out the fourth quarter. And I was watching it. Three
Where was
pointer
Mitchell
by Brunt.
Robinson by the so where was Mitch? Was he on the floor for Cat to be moving around freely?
In the beginning, yeah, Mitch and Cat were out there. In the beginning, Mitch actually had 11 points. Mitch didn't miss a field goal in this game. He only
Oh
had two
yeah, no.
fouls.
That's fine. So where was Mitch? Why wasn't he out there?
Yeah, Mitch played a whopping only. Mitch played 18 minutes and scored
What?
13 points. Mitch played 18 minutes. That's it.
So you no,
Mitch,
no, they're not doing so they're doing this back to back shit.
I wouldn't say quite back to back, but because it was not a back to back because you had an off day mixed in,
I
so
know,
there's no
but
excuse for
basically
that.
you're playing him heavy one game and then you're playing him light the next.
I mean, I don't know what to say with Mike Brown's decision making, but he clearly went away from what was working. He tried to finagle his way a little bit, Brunson can be the hero,
Oh,
maybe make a few couple shots because that's literally what the Knicks were doing those last 3, 4 possessions. Brunson 3, miss. Anunoby 3, miss. Bridges 3, miss. Hart 3, miss.
So,
And
question: did Jalen Brunson go to the Carmelo's Anthony School of ISO ball?
pretty much.
Is this what's happening here?
And you know Brunson is not a very good defender. We all know that. Brunson can't play defense. So
No,
who do you think cooked
he's
him?
tenacious. He tries, but
And who do you
like
think cooked him?
CJ McCollum.
Damn right it was CJ McCollum. Cooking him like he always has so far in this
Yep.
series.
Oh man,
Yeah, McCollum led all scoring, 32 points. There
that's
you go.
disgusting.
32 points.
That's fucking disgusting. That is disgusting. And let me guess, Cat was playing center down the stretch.
I mean, and Towns is not really
Cat
known
was
to play
playing the
much
five.
defense. Yeah. The scary part, yeah, Towns had 4 fouls, Mitch had
No,
only 2, and you play Mitch 18 minutes to Cat playing 34.
Cat could play the four defensively extremely well. He is a plus defender at power forward. He's a minus defender as a center.
Yeah. Clarkson,
Why the fuck?
Knicks played only 11 minutes with Jordan Clarkson. He actually took advantage of the few minutes he played. He actually had points. McBride, Shamit, Alvarado combined for 0 points.
I told you Deuce McBride was a pile of garbage. I've said all season long, Deuce McBride is no good. That the team is better off without him.
You started the quarter with Alvarado in the fourth because Brunson had 4 fouls. So Alvarado, who's not even a big guy, he's a small guy, and he just doesn't shoot 100. He's just not a great shooter.
No,
I
he's a
love his tenacity,
facilitator
but
and a
he's not.
defender.
But he's not a
He's a
good.
facilitator. But he's a facilitator and a defender. Why wasn't he facilitating the Carl Anthony Towns? Oh yeah, because Carl Anthony Towns was on the bench with Brunson. You figure we're gonna bring back our 1-2 punch,
The
Brunson and
crazy
Cat.
part is the ball moves better when Brunson is sitting, not when he's out there. When he's out
Because
there, the offense stalls.
Brunson's a score first point guard. He's a
And then on
James
top of
Harden.
there were
You
so
need
many
a
things.
Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah.
Brunson is a poor man's James Harden. And everybody says, oh, Brunson, he signed a contract. It saved the team money. He took less money. No. The Knicks signed Brunson for the money he was worth.
Yeah.
I want everybody to understand that. Brunson on a max deal was overpaying Brunson. The Knicks signed Jalen Brunson for the exact amount of money that Jalen Brunson's actually worth.
Hmm.
That isn't saving the team. Yes, Brunson did save the team money because the evaluation on him was that he was worth a max deal. But if you really look at him, he's not. What he's getting paid now is exactly what Jalen Brunson's worth. So the Knicks pretty much finessed Brunson into evaluating himself properly.
Well, like it or not, there were obviously other things that affected this game. The Knicks missed 10 free throws. That doesn't help. OG Anunoby missed 4 of those 10 free throws, including 2 down the stretch that could have given the Knicks the lead. He didn't hit either free throw.
He's another one that could get off my team.
I think that's a little harsh. Isn't that a little bit harsh?
Really?
I mean, is OG Anunoby a ball hog? No, he's not. Can OG
But
Anunoby?
no offense, Josh Hart could do exactly what OG Anunoby does for a quarter of the price.
They both are role players. They're not top scorers. They're role players. They come off the bench for Hart.
But I paid OG Anunoby to be more than a role player.
And look, like OG can take over a game when you give him the time and space. He can take a game over. The problem is
so
the ball.
Josh Hart.
Okay, Hart had 15 points. Okay, he did some stuff. Hart played.
Yeah, but do you see my point? How much are we paying OG Anunoby versus Josh Hart?
We're paying OG
Anunoby. We're paying
$50 million
more. We're paying him more money than Jalen Brunson.
Well, even with Brunson readjusting his contract, taking that pay cut, yeah. In some ways, that's a fair argument. But the point of the matter is
if
now.
I'm paying OG Anunoby this much fucking money, and he's not performing, you see, this is where I'm saying, and I keep bringing the OG trade up because they doubled down on stupidity when they signed OG to a max deal. because OG saw the writing on the wall and said, "I'm not giving this team a discount." The second they traded 5 first round draft picks for Mikal Bridges, OG saw the writing on the wall and said, "This is going to shit."
I mean, those 5 picks are not really going anywhere, are not going to become anything too special out of it. They're very low end picks, whatever they come out. By the way, the Knicks with a tiebreak win over the Lakers have the 24th pick in the NBA draft. I just want everybody to know that. So
Yeah,
the Knicks get a first round pick. They're also going to get a 31st pick and a 50 and like a 55th pick as well. So the Knicks are going to have draft picks. It's not like they're not going to have any picks in this draft. They will.
no, good, and thank God for that because they need it. But here's the thing is, right now, what would you Emmanuel quickly's hurt, but RJ Barrett isn't doing terrible as a
No.
Raptor right now in this post. Right now, I'd rather RJ Barrett's performances over OG Anunoby's.
Randall and DiVincenzo came up big the other night for the Timberwolves also. DiVincenzo hit 5 very clutch points at the end, including a big three with about a minute to play, which allowed the Timberwolves to hold off the Nuggets in game 2, tying that series at 1.
Yeah, but I'm sorry, Karl Anthony Towns is a generational talent.
Okay.
He
I
just
mean,
is.
because everybody will
And
now go back to this argument. Was it worth trading Randall? Was it worth trading
yes,
DiVincenzo to get a Karl
yes,
Anthony Towns? That's what everybody's going to
yes,
ask.
because getting a Karl Anthony Towns is a move that puts you from a good team who can maybe go deep in the Eastern Conference, like get into the second round or win a second round series, into a
It
championship contender every year.
it would have been great if I don't know if Karl Anthony Towns actually had the ball thrown to him a few times and Towns actually took it to the hoop a few times instead of settling for open threes that don't always hit, even with a wide open shot. You go for the sure
Okay, but
shot.
no. An open three should be a sure shot for him.
Yeah. But it was Towns not taking those shots. It was what, Bridges, Anunoby. Those aren't the guys you want taking
It
those
was
threes.
everybody. It was everybody else but the guy that you're paying $50 million to score you 30 points a game.
And you know what? The upsetting part too is, when is Towns gonna go over to Brunson and say, "Man, what the F, man? Give me the fucking ball. I'm standing right here. I'm wide
He,
open. Move the ball to me."
I'm pretty sure those conversations are happening. You're just
If
not seeing it because they're both professionals.
Do you
Unlike
feel like there's a
Julius
rift between these
Randle,
two? Do you feel like there's a rift
hell
between these
yes,
two?
hell yes, hell yes. I don't think they play well together, and I think there's something broken between those two that needs to be fixed and fixed immediately.
There was a moment a few games
Because
back where Mitch complained when he was open and he didn't get a ball thrown to him. Now he went back on defense. He didn't go whiny and pout about it, but it
yeah,
was evident on Mitch's face.
yeah, because Brunson feels like he has to do it all. But here's the thing: he's not supposed to be the one.
So why can't his teammates reiterate to him, Jalen, you got 4 other people around you. You can give any of us the ball. Don't be afraid. Got to use us a little bit. These are sometimes that this happens even in a restaurant. The head chef tries to do everything himself, and screw that you have a sous chef, and screw that you have line cooks in the back to help cook the meals. You can't always
And
be the
that's
star of the show.
and that's the little bit of discipline that Tom Thibodeau brought to this team that I think Mike Brown lacks. Because everybody knew their role
With
in the
Thibodeau, yes.
Thibodeau,
With Thibodeau, they did. Yes.
whether or not they liked it, they knew what their jobs were. And if you didn't perform the role that Thibodeau wanted, your ass was on the bench.
Yeah, I know. But then, of course, Bridges would complain, we're playing too many minutes. You're going to burn out your guys. And then that started that whole little argument with
Well,
him.
how do
And
you feel now, dumbass? How do you feel now, dumbass? You've had the worst statistical season you've ever had, and you're the fifth option.
and
He's
as the
the
fifth,
fifth option.
so that and that yeah, and of course Bridges was the one who took the last shot, and we ended
Ugh.
up losing the game. Now everybody was also complaining, "Oh, the Knicks had a timeout. Why didn't Brown use a timeout? What was Brown thinking?" Want you all to know, Knicks didn't have a timeout.
No, they didn't.
No, they did not have a timeout. No, they did not.
Noah, Yo,
Love Noah.
young
Shout
Bird
out to you,
Eagle.
Noah. Always shout out to
Young
Noah.
Bird Eagle. You were wrong, bro. Here's the thing. Everybody always criticize. This is something else everybody always criticized Tom Thibodeau for. Why do you waste all these timeouts at the beginning of the second half, and then you wait, and then you only have two timeouts with 3 minutes to go?
There's a rule in the NBA I think people need to know, just for anybody that doesn't know. Last 3 minutes, you only have two timeouts. I don't care if you have 5 or 6. Once you get to 3 minutes, whatever additional timeouts you have, go away. So you either use those timeouts or you lose those timeouts. Very plain and simple.
Yeah, and do you know what Thibodeau was doing with those timeouts in the fourth quarter with 8,000 timeouts until there was 2 minutes left to go, and he waited until the fourth quarter to use all of his fucking timeouts, and then he used them all until there was 3 minutes, and he only had two. He did this every single game, pretty much, because he understood the minutes he was playing his guys. And he was sitting them down, giving them breathers. The same type of breathers they would get if he was substituting players in and out.
The problem here now with Brown is he has actually the extra depth that Thibodeau didn't have. But he doesn't know at
And
times when to use these players. Like, okay, if a guy's cooking, Brown takes him out of the game. That's a pattern I've seen
yep,
with Mike Brown. He takes a guy out of the game that's clearly dominating, that clearly has all the momentum, and then he takes him out of the game. And then you go back to what's been failing. You bring back a guy that's ice cold, and then the offense gets stagnant. And what should be a 20-point blowout, yeah, maybe you'll win the game by 10 or so points. But you have to work much harder for that win
or
than you should be.
or what happened the other night happens. You lose 107, 106.
There you go. And now the Knicks have 2 days, including tomorrow, to dwell on this loss. And now the series is going back to Atlanta. And if you're the Knicks, this game 3 is must win.
Oh, hell
It's
yeah.
must win.
Yep.
The Knicks
And I
haven't been
told
good
you
on the
this was going
road.
to
The
be.
Knicks haven't been on good on the road this year. So I don't know if the Knicks can even win 2 games on the road, let alone even win one.
Well, I told you this was going to be a 6 game series, did I not?
Well, I believe still the series could go 5. And right now, if the Knicks were to win
I
the
don't
last
think
3, it would
so.
end in 5.
I don't think it's going to end in 5. I told you it's going to be a 6 game series. And you know what?
So the Knicks have to
I hope
win.
it is.
So the Knicks have to win 2 games in Atlanta for this to even come true. Knicks will have to win 2 games in Atlanta for them
No,
to
I
win
think
this
they're
in
going
six
to.
games.
No, I think they're going to win a game in Atlanta. I think they're going to win a game in Atlanta. They're going to lose a game in Atlanta. They're going to
And
come
then win
back
at
home
home.
2-2.
And then they win the game at home for game 5. And then game 6 is back in Atlanta again. So they have to win 2 games in Atlanta. That's what it is now.
Exactly. Yeah. Guess what? They're going to have to prove themselves again. This team is going to have to go out there and prove that they are the same team, if not better than last year. So
Well,
far, even though like it doesn't necessarily look like it, in the regular season, guess what they did? They went out and
hmm.
proved it. They finished with a better record than they did last season.
Well, they're going to have to do it again. And now, you know, as I look at some of the other games, maybe some of the top teams took the others for granted. I mean, Pistons took the Magic for granted in game 1. Ended up losing that game on their turf in Detroit.
I told you Detroit was a very, 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 very exposable number 1 seed. I said it. I said that they had a shot to be eliminated, that I think Boston was the greatest threat to the Knicks going to the NBA Finals, not Detroit, and that I thought Detroit was beatable in the first round.
Hmm.
I
And
did say
well,
that last week.
and well, it's beginning to look like it. It's
I
beginning to
told you
look like it.
The East is the best conference by far.
Well, it's
By
definitely
far.
performed it's definitely performed up to that. I'm not denying that. The only thing I'm going to have to say now is can the East keep this up? Obviously, we're going to see
I
how the
think
rest of
so.
these. We'll obviously see how the rest of these games go. The Pistons and Magic will play game 2 tomorrow night. and we'll see if the Pistons can even up the series.
And
But now the Magic have flipped the script just as the Hawks have done last night. The Sixers are right now up 7 at the end of 3. Can they flip that series in their favor too? I've had some back and forth conversations with so many, Knicks fans and yada yada. They always give the Knicks flack the minute they lose a game. The Knicks get nothing but rioting from the fans. Oh, the team's terrible. Blow it all up. Blow this team up. And
no,
you don't see
just
top teams.
get.
You don't see top teams. You don't see the top teams with killer instincts. Letting a game slip away and like.
How about this? There is no top team with a killer instinct in the NBA right now except for the Oklahoma City.
Well, I'd like to see if Oklahoma City can keep their foot on the gas and do that in game 2, like they did in game 1 of the Suns. That will be tomorrow too.
Yep.
Suns and Thunder tomorrow.
And you know what? The LA Lakers, you got to give them a whole shit ton of credit too.
Mm.
Because LeBron James went out there by himself and completely destroyed the Houston Rockets. He didn't have to be the highest scoring member of his team. He was grandpa, facilitator, rebounder, scored when you needed him to score. He was everything you needed him to be.
Well,
And the magical run so far is one game in. And you know what? If LeBron plays like this throughout the entire postseason, like I said, if the Lakers win the title on LeBron's back and LeBron plays like this the entire postseason, we could have greatest of all time conversations.
well, we're going to find all that out tonight. Lakers and Rockets play game 2 tonight. Going to be in a little bit though, in a few more minutes, but we will see. So right now, 2 of the 3 games are going on right now. Just starting the fourth quarter with Philadelphia and Boston. Sixers are up
And
4. We're in a tight battle. Blazers and Spurs. Spurs are up by 1 late in the second. So it's,
ooh,
yeah, well, I mean, the Blazers came out guns swinging. They came out guns blazing the first few minutes. Look, you knew the Spurs were going to adjust. I mean, that's fine. Again, the NBA's momentum. The playoffs always are about momentum. Things can change on a dime. One shot can then become a 10-0 run. A big defensive stop could lead to a run.
look, 2 versus 7 in the West are 2 very young teams.
Yes.
And, in fact, I'd say the only real veteran out there is Fox on the
Look,
Spurs
De'Aaron
side.
Fox is very solid. I love De'Aaron Fox. Great player and all. But look, even he understands offense goes through Wemby. If Wemby's hurt, then yeah, Fox can take the lead. But you have Castle, you have Vassell, you have the other pieces there that can really help move the offense around. So, if you're the Spurs, Wemby does not have to do everything by himself.
Nope.
That's a big difference.
But like I said, De'Aaron Fox is going to be the key piece to determine if the Spurs move on or not, and if they
Okay.
go to the NBA Finals or not, because Wemby and Jokic really cancel each other out. So the main matchup between the Nuggets and the Spurs, if it gets to that in the Western Conference Finals,
Well,
is really going to be Jamal Murray versus De'Aaron Fox.
well, I'd like to say I think Rudy Gobert did a good job, at least in game 2, of shutting down Jokic in that to end the game the other night. Jokic himself can really struggled down the stretch, along with Jamal Murray, just could not hit clutch shots at the very end. And a lot of that had to do with Gobert's defense, and he was playing with 5 fouls for the last portion of the game.
mm-hmm.
Gobert was hit with foul trouble early, so Nuggets really could have taken further advantage with him sitting to score more points, and they didn't. And again, free throws also played a role in their loss as well.
Well, look, Nuggets Wolves is always a tough series every time they get together.
And the Wolves
It's
won
a
the season series
knockdown.
over them. The Wolves have won the season series over the Nuggets this year.
Look, it's a knockdown, drag out fight every time they engage in the postseason. I just think the Nuggets are way too experienced and way
Yeah.
too good.
Oh, no, I don't doubt
They're
that.
going to knock the Wolves out. Here's the thing, though. If DiVincenzo can turn into playoff Dante, then maybe the Wolves have a shot. But if Dante DiVincenzo is the Dante DiVincenzo of the regular season that we've seen all year long,
Yeah.
Minnesota's got no chance.
All right. Well, we're definitely gonna see how all those things play out. I mean, I like that the playoffs have already gotten off to a nice start. Definitely, you feel like the games
Yep.
all are very close. It's very matchups
Well,
are more
except for
even than
one
people
series.
realize. Well, yeah, the Suns
Well,
Thunder.
no,
That's like the Suns
but
Thunder's
then
like,
again, I told you, you were saying like, oh, five. I said five for Lakers Rockets, but more leaning towards six because LeBron is still, you know, he's the greatest player of this century,
mhm.
and there is nobody in this century that will touch LeBron James.
Yes.
I
Well,
promise you. There has to be a one next to the two in this millennia before we see another player.
KD's a game time decision for tonight, by the way, for the Rockets. Definitely for the Rockets. You really need him to play tonight.
And like I
You're going to
told
need
you,
him.
that's a damn problem for the Rockets because you really needed Amin Thompson and Şengün to take steps forward this season with Kevin Durant here,
I
but
mean,
you expected them.
they've taken some,
No,
but not
not
enough. But
not
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 enough. Not enough.
no, not where not where we expected or needed them to be. So like at this point, Kevin Durant should not be option one. He should be option two, option three. He should be like LeBron is on the Lakers, and what you've seen
So who should be the top
is
scorer on the Rockets then? If it's not Durant, should it be Jabari Smith? Should it be
it should be
Şengün?
Şengün. It should be
Should be
Şengün.
Şengün. Okay.
It should be Şengün. Durant should be the number two, if not the number three, to Şengün and Thompson.
Okay. And look, the rest of the team also has to follow suit around them. I mean, Eason has to play some big minutes. Reed Shepherd has to hit some shots. You only can go with what you have. And if you don't deliver enough, it's not going to help. So definitely Ime Udoka has his work cut out for him.
He does.
If Durant doesn't play, that's big trouble, without a doubt.
Yeah,
Uh,
and you know what? If
you
the
notice the
Lakers win
Lakers played
game
a lot more
two,
freer without Doncic there. Did you notice it? Did they play a lot more free, like more loose, knowing, hey, Doncic doesn't have to take 70% of our offense away from us? You could see
no,
guys.
it's less than that. I think I think it was less that and more. I think LeBron really got them all together and said, "Hey, look, guys, nobody thinks we have a shot.
Even with the home court advantage.
Everybody thinks I'm an old man. Everybody thinks I suck now. Everybody thinks you all suck.
Yeah.
So guess what? We ain't got no chance, right? Let's go out there and have some fun. Let's just go out there and see what happens." LeBron
Well,
went out there and convinced his team that there's absolutely no pressure on them whatsoever.
yeah. Well, and they all seem to
They played
relish in it.
loose and free. Yep, they relished in every bit
You
of
saw
that
DeAndre
hate
Ayton
and
get
that
some huge points.
criticism.
You saw DeAndre Ayton get big points. You
And
saw
I
Luke
bet you
Kennard lead the
LeBron went,
way with 27. That doesn't
Yup,
happen often.
yup. And I bet you LeBron went to DeAndre and said, listen, hey, we got you because we expected you to go out there and do big things. I wasn't supposed to be out in the post banging and getting rebounds and doing big man shit at my
That's what Ayton's
age.
supposed to do as a big man. That's supposed to be Ayton's job.
Yup.
Okay. For at least that night, he did. Great. Now I want to see it happen again. Because again,
Yeah.
Luka's not going to be back in this round. You're not going to see Luka in the first round.
Neither is Austin Reeves.
There you go. So your offense is going to basically be with what you got in Ayton, in Kennard, in Hachimura, and then you're going to need to see some of the other guys off the bench, Laravia, Vanderbilt, Jackson Hayes. They're all going to have to play some role in the offense.
Like I said, Bronny gonna have to go out there and prove it himself too. He's gonna have to go out there and work with his dad. You're gonna have to see what have they been working on for however long that little child has been alive in the backyard.
I think Bronny will see some more minutes. I think Bronny will see some more minutes tonight. I think he will do some more scoring tonight, a little more than he did the last game. He didn't really do a whole lot in game one.
Maybe not scoring, but do you know what? Maybe you need to pick and roll dad. Maybe you and dad need to pull out some of those cool plays that you've been working on in the backyard all your lives.
I want to see Bronny throw an alley-oop to his pop.
That's what I'm talking about. I want you to set up pick and rolls with your dad. Let's see what the two of you can do.
Well, maybe we're just going to for the
Like I
first time
said,
see that. Maybe we will just see
you
the
know
very
what?
beginning of that
You know
tonight.
what? Hey, if the Lakers could get us, if the Lakers could turn this into a 6 game series with no Reeves and no Doncic, you applaud that effort. You really
Mhm.
do.
We could see some mate.
Congrats to
Look,
them for congrats to them for winning game one. I didn't expect it.
yeah, absolutely. Look, it's good to see. I guess we're going to find out very quickly. And so right now, a little update end of the first half. It's 57-57 Spurs Blazers. All right, so it's right down the middle. It's a close game. Well, obviously, what I expected from both, obviously, the Sixers and the Blazers, they're playing with more desperation. They're playing with a little more tenacity in game two, which you kind of expected. Both of them didn't come out of the gates good in game one.
Nope.
Certainly the Sixers didn't. And right now, the Sixers are,
Atlanta didn't either. They played a terrible game against the Knicks in game one, in my opinion. I
yeah.
rewatched it, rewatched film highlight. Atlanta came out looking like garbage.
Well, I mean, there were
So
momentum spurts, though. I mean, like, Atlanta took a little
yeah,
lead
but
there. Atlanta went on a few runs there, but the Knicks had an answer each time, and that
yeah,
was
but for
big.
the most part, but yeah, and that was mostly because Atlanta played like hot garbage. I would love to see if Atlanta cleaned up its mistakes in game two. Because if
Well,
this is more what the Hawks can do, then this was the type of series I was expecting.
well, right now it's 7.5 minutes to play. The Sixers are up seven. We'll see if they can hold on to that lead, and could we have another series go to at least a fifth game? Never know. Could be possible.
Well,
Uh,
like I
by
said,
the
I
way,
think I think the Magic and the Pistons are definitely going to be another longer series as well. I'm
oh yeah, I
sure.
think the Magic will definitely give the Pistons a fight because it's two teams that possess a very similar trait: physicality. The
Yep,
Magic can match the Pistons' physicality. That's a big deal.
and the Magic are about where the Pistons were last year in their development.
I don't know about that. The Magic have already been a playoff team in the playoff picture for a few years already, even before the Pistons got good. Boncaro's already been here a few years. Franz Wagner's been here a few years already. These guys have been here. These guys have already been to the playoffs at least 3, 4 years ago.
Yeah, true. But what I'm saying is, in terms of the development level of their star
Well, yeah,
players,
they're at the peak. They're kind of like at their peak of their top of at this point in their career. They're kind of at that. This is where they're at their best athletic point of their career. Yes.
exactly. So, and Detroit had to make some free agent moves and trades to get where they are.
They did.
They kind of sped their build up,
Mm.
while the Magic slow played it over a number of years. The Magic, like, through slow playing their build, ended up, I think, at this point they're at the point where Detroit was last season.
All right. With some of the rest of their players, yeah. I mean, because you've seen the development of Anthony Black. You've seen the development of Suggs. You've seen the development of Wendell Carter Jr. You've seen the rest of the team kind of around Boncaro and Wagner really kind of come into their own. And that's
Yes.
fair. And that's definitely fair. And now you're seeing the fruits of that labor paying off, and that's very important. Now the Magic are going to have to keep that going for the rest of this series if they're going to topple the Pistons. That's okay. Obviously, look, one game, great. You got the first game.
And you finally got your number three in Suggs.
Yeah.
That's the key. You finally got your number three.
Of course, you have to be extra careful after a victory. If you're the team that took the previous game, you always have to be the team that's more careful because the other team is going to come out with a vengeance. They're going to come out with more intensity by the next game. So that's what I'm going to be expecting for the Knicks to do against the Hawks. That's what I'm expecting the Pistons will do tomorrow in game two. I figure the Suns will do the same against OKC in game two. And depending what the outcomes of our games today will be, you're going to see the same thing after game two tonight.
Agreed. Now, remember, last season the Knicks were a terrible road team during the
Yes.
regular season as well.
Yeah. Well,
But
they were actually good
they
on the
have.
road last year. They were good on the road last year. They weren't as good at home. Surprisingly, they were not as good at home.
But they still weren't great. But like the thing I'm gonna say is, I think this team knows how to win on the road.
Okay.
I think it does.
They've proven, I mean, they've
So
proven in important games that they can. They have proven that in important games that they can do that. That's true.
so if I'm gonna so to me, what I need to see from this Knicks team is they need to
Mm-hmm.
go out and they need to just put their foot on Atlanta's throats. They have to go out there and they have to dominate, and they have to dominate through big man play. And they need Towns to establish himself early. They need Brunson to get the endurance going in the middle of the game,
Mm-hmm.
and then they need Towns to finish it off. Towns needs to bookend the game. Brunson needs to keep it going in the middle. Brunson should be your main force in quarters 2 and 3.
Yes.
Towns should open and close. That's how it should work.
You
I
have to
don't
play
know
for 48
why I
minutes.
have
You
to.
have to play
I
for
don't know
48
why.
minutes.
I don't know why I have to fucking explain this to professional coaches. I really
Well,
don't.
yeah, because
But
we're just the coaches that sit on the couch at home.
look, I'm just the floating head
we're just the
with a
armchair
fucking
coaches.
yeah. I'm just the floating head. I'm just the floating head with headphones on. The idiot with the background that says Downtown Sports. Okay, so I really don't know shit, but I definitely understand pattern recognition. I understand how you start and end a game. I understand momentum, and I understand because I've watched basketball enough. I've seen enough film, and I know how this shit works. I've watched enough playoff basketball to get it. Um, you put your foot on their throats to start
Mm-hmm.
the game. You maintain said lead throughout the game. And then
Yep.
when they try to go on a run, you put your foot on their throat again to stop the run. So, how do you do this? If you're the Knicks, Karl-Anthony Towns is a good momentum starter. Get him going early. Get him 12 first quarter points. Then maybe have him score like 6 points in the second throughout the second and third quarter to get him to 18 or 20. By the time you're at the fourth quarter, and then in the fourth quarter, he better be scoring 10 and getting 5 rebounds. So
Yes.
then 30 and freaking 12. He should be the new age Kareem Abdul Jabbar with a 3-point shot. It's just no one has ever used him this way.
Yep. It's it's definitely going to be a big thing to watch for in game three.
I want my 10% royalty check when a coach finally figures out how to do this, when they come across this YouTube video and this Spotify pod or wherever they listen to it or watch it. I want my royalty check
Don't we all?
because I finally explained it how to use this guy. I swear to God, play him in the 4. Don't play him at 5. Play him in the fucking 4 and let him be a monster.
Yes. Well, we're going to find all of that out in game three. Knicks will play game three on
Oh,
Thursday night in Atlanta. So be on eyes for that one. And with that,
can I go back to watching film now? I have to prep. I have to
go
prep
ahead.
to give
Yeah,
a
no,
bunch of fantasy
we're just
football
about
addicts
done. We're just
their
about done
top
here.
15 list for
I think
their. I
we've
have to
made
go
our
back to
piece.
watching. I have to go back to watching NFL film and college football film, and my eyes have to continue bleeding. I got your. Good. You guys said. Oh, good.
Yes, we sent you
Thank
our
God.
top 15 wide receivers for the NFL draft class of 2026. And we all had
Yes.
different opinions on how we kind of ranked this one, kind of each.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, and it's interesting.
Ooh.
I think this is a very good class. I think we have a lot of very good high potential receivers here that could impact the team. It's just a matter of where they go and what team is going to utilize them to their full potential. That's
And if
what
you
this is
want to
going to come
find
down to.
out, And if you want to find out, you got to tune into the Professional Fanatics. We're going to post this YouTube video up the second we're done with it. We're going to throw it up
Mm-hmm.
on YouTube immediately so we can link you guys to it so you can watch
Mm-hmm.
and get on over to the Professional Fanatics channel. Watch the Downtown Sports Consensus top 15. I'm putting it through are my list, your list, Tony's, and putting it through AI analysis and Beast.
Yes.
I've sent you the consensus list. Here it is.
Oh,
What do you
yes, this
think?
is this is the one. This is the one that you gave me earlier today, correct? A little bit earlier
It,
before we came on
yeah,
today.
the consensus. Yeah, my list is the consensus list. There it is.
Well, it was an int. This is the one that you. Yeah, this is the one that you did with the. This is the AI one that you told me about.
Yeah, no, I took all of our lists,
And yeah, oh yeah,
uh,
this is what you combined. Oh, the
compiled
Gemini
them.
draft report, right? This is it. Okay.
Yeah, and
Hmm.
compiled them all, and that is the downtown sports consensus.
Hmm. I must say, I'm going to put this on a little. I think the world should see it. Let's take a look at it quick.
Yeah, quick
And
little thing. You're gonna see this on the Professional Fanatics side as well.
you know, you went with the same 15 that I put down. I pretty much have these same 15 on my list. Just a little. The order is going to be a little different with mine, as
Yeah,
I'm sure
mine
it might be
too.
with yours and with anybody and
Yeah,
with Chris and Tony's.
yeah. I had like for example, I had Tate at three.
Hmm.
I didn't have
And it
Tate at one.
seems like you have some similar comparisons in what I identified in their move sets and skill sets from what I saw on film when watching each of their highlights.
Well, no, because I had inputted their analysis in as well into the AI, and this is the graphic it spit out at me, and this is our consensus ranking. It's the downtown sports consensus.
All right. Well, you'll share this and all the other top 15 later today on the Professional Fanatics podcast, and definitely look forward to that. But for now,
No. That well, I'm sharing that.
oh, for
Uh,
certain.
all yeah, that is what's being shared because I
Yeah.
fed all of our information together,
Mhm.
and that is what artificial intelligence has determined. All of our information and research has come down to our consensus. So
Mhm.
that is the show's opinion, mine, yours, Chris, and Tony's
Yep.
combined into what the top 15 list is.
All right. And that, on that note, that's going to do it for this edition of Downtown Sports. I want to thank Chris and Tony for their, obviously, for the top 15s that the mouth of the South will bring in on the Professional Fanatics. Always great work that both of them do. You can listen to Downtown Sports on 25 different platforms. We're on Spotify. We're on Spotify for creators, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Castbox, Bullhorn, Podbay, Listen Notes, Podcast Addict, Verbal, Castro.fm, Stitcher, Amazon Music, Audible, Podvine, Odyssey, iHeartRadio, Podchaser, TuneIn, YouTube Studio, and YouTube. Episodes, rants, digital market battles, specials every week. We are Downtown Sports, and we are where sports come home.
NFL drafts in a couple of days,
Thursday.
boys.
Yeah.
And afterwards, you know what? Me, Chris, and Tony are gonna do what we did last year. We're gonna tell you what we think about the first round. We're gonna
I think
tell
it's
you
going to
what
be a
we
very
think about the
impactful
first
first
round.
round. By the way, just so you know, the Giants, by trading Dexter Lawrence, the Giants picked up the 10th pick in the NFL draft. So the Giants will have a 5 and a 10 pick in the first round.
So now there's no excuse. Get Jeremiah Love on this team.
Well, I think that we're
Get
going to get love.
Jeremiah Love
I
on this
think worst
team.
case, we're going to get love with the 5, maybe not even with the 10, but
No, you're getting love with the five. Get love with the five because honestly, from by the way, quick updates. According to Doug Rush, the Giants are out on Sonny Styles. They
mm,
do not want him. He is not going to be a Giant, and even if he's available at five, he's not the pick.
the Jets have seemed to have
So
pivoted from Arvell Reese also. The Jets are looking at
that's
this kid
right.
Bailey. They're looking at this kid
Yep.
Bailey at
They're
number
looking at
2.
Bailey. They're looking at Bailey. They're out on Arvell Reese. He's falling to Arizona.
I know
If you
Harbaugh had some
believe
chats with him. I think Harbaugh even had a moment with him. So maybe could he be a Giant perhaps?
well, now that they have the 10th pick, could they trade those two picks to move up?
Very possible. That's the unpredictability that we're going to see in the NFL draft. Who knows what could happen?
If they think Arvell Reese is their guy, could they trade those two picks to move up to get Arvell Reese?
We're going to find out. There's going to be other
That would
moves, I'm
fix their
sure, coming.
defense.
But for now, Jonathan Pariente, Beast of the East, Mouth of the South, John Schiavone, saying goodbye for now.
We're out. Thanks for listening. Deuces.